What if I told you that an ordinary-looking quarter in your pocket could be worth $75,000? Yes, a 1965 Washington quarter that might look like every other coin can actually be a rare treasure. Some of these coins have sold for thousands of dollars, and a few collectors believe the right one could even go for $89,000 or more. Maybe even up to $100,000 if it's in perfect condition. Sounds crazy, right? But it's true. And in this video, you'll find out why, how to spot one, and what makes it so special. Let's go back to 1965. The U.S. Mint changed how quarters were made. Before that year, quarters were made of 90% silver. But silver became expensive, so starting in 1965, they switched to a cheaper metal made of copper and nickel. That change was huge. But during this switch, some mistakes happened. A few 1965 quarters were accidentally made using the old silver material. These mistakes are called transitional errors. They were not supposed to happen, but they did. And that's what makes them rare and valuable. Most 1965 quarters are worth 25 cents. Some might be worth a few dollars if they're in perfect shape. But if your 1965 quarter was made using silver instead of the new copper-nickel metal, you could be holding a coin worth thousands. One such quarter, struck on a silver planchet, sold for over $14,000. Another one reached nearly $15,000. And collectors believe that if a 1965 silver quarter is found in near-perfect condition, with no scratches or marks, it could sell for $75,000 or more. How can you tell if your 1965 quarter is one of these rare coins? First, check the edge. Normal 1965 quarters show a copper line on the edge. That's because they have a copper core. But a silver quarter will not show this line. The edge should look solid silver all around. If you see that, don't spend the coin. Next, weigh the coin. A regular quarter from 1965 should weigh about 5.67 grams. But a silver one will be heavier, around 6.25 grams. You'll need a small digital scale that shows weight in grams. If your coin is heavier than normal, it might be silver. You can also look closely at the coin. If you see doubling in the letters or numbers, that could be another rare error. For example, if the words, "In God We Trust," or "Liberty," look like they have a shadow or are doubled, that might be a double die error. These are also valuable, though usually not as much as the silver ones. But still, even these can sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars if the condition is good. Some 1965 quarters were struck on planchets meant for other coins, like nickels or dimes. These are called wrong planchet errors. If the quarter looks too small or too big, or if the image is off-center, it might be one of these rare types. These kinds of mistakes are also worth a lot. Let's be clear though, most 1965 quarters are not rare. Millions were made. Most of them are still out there, being used or sitting in drawers. But that's why it's important to check. Because once in a while, someone finds one of these rare errors. And when they do, it can change their life. So why do collectors pay so much for these coins? It's because of how rare they are. When something is supposed to be gone but still shows up, like a silver coin in a year that shouldn't have any silver, collectors get excited. These coins tell a story. They are pieces of history, showing what can go wrong at the mint during big changes. And people are willing to pay big money for that. Some experts think there are fewer than 20 of these silver 1965 quarters known to exist. That's not many. And if a new one appears that's in perfect condition, maybe never touched by human hands, never scratched, stored safely for years, it could set a record. Some say it could reach $75,000, maybe even $100,000 at auction. But it would need to be verified, graded, and in top shape. If you think you might have a rare 1965 quarter, don't clean it. Don't try to make it shiny. Cleaning can damage coins and lower their value. Instead, store it safely and have it looked at by a coin expert. You can also send it to a professional grading company like PCGS or NGC. They'll test it, weigh it, and confirm if it's silver or has a rare error. If it is, they'll put it in a sealed holder and give it a grade. That makes it easier to sell, and collectors trust those companies. So let's say you find one of these rare coins. What should you do? First, celebrate. You've just found a tiny piece of history. Next, do your homework. Learn about similar coins and what they've sold for. Then decide if you want to keep it or sell it. Some people like to hold on to rare coins as an investment. Others prefer to sell and use the money for something else. But even if you don't find a rare one, checking your coins is still fun. You learn something new. You pay more attention to everyday things. And who knows, maybe the next coin you get in change will be the one. The one worth thousands. The story of the 1965 quarter is a reminder that mistakes can be valuable. That a tiny detail, like using the wrong metal, can turn an ordinary coin into a collector's dream. Most people don't look at their change. They spend it without a second thought. But maybe you'll be different. Maybe you'll take a second to look. To check. And maybe, just maybe, you'll find the coin that others missed. So before you spend that old quarter, flip it over. Check the date. Look at the edge. Feel the weight. And if it seems just a little bit off, if it looks different from the rest, it might be something special. It might be worth far more than 25 cents. It might be worth tens of thousands of dollars. People have found rare coins in jars, drawers, even parking lots. You don't need to be a collector. You just need to be curious. So keep looking. Keep checking your change. Because the next big discovery could be in your pocket. And remember that small, shiny 1965 quarter. It could be the one worth $75,000. Or $89,000. Or even more. Don't let it slip away.